Uh, Good evening, folks. That was the tropics. I was up having a look at this tendril of moisture here. It's gonna be moved in a couple different directions. So I'm always keeping an eye on up here this tendril and how it gets moved, and what kind of EMF manipulations you've got going on. And you've had quite a bit of them, quite a bit of beaming going on. The big one come up through here through the trough, making a line through here of energy. Big straight one came up and across the entire nation from here. Caused the dividing line. The only thing you're seeing come up under here is because you got an X-ray on and they fueled it with some chem bombs, and I'll show you them. Alice Springs very active. You ain't hiding your signature from me. I see too often. Another beam shooting out here. It's causing this to manipulate the river here, and I need to know these things because it's going to force that backwards and force that towards that cyclone that's forming out there in the Indian Ocean, right? And that's going to cause this to have a problem, and that thing is going to end up visiting here. I've been waiting to see, and it's going to visit there in about 9-10 days. You'll have a cyclone sitting off the coast, but it's not going to be tropical cyclone strength. It'll be a high tropical storm strength storm. It's 60 kilometer an hour, but it won't be up high enough. It's got to be over 73 miles an hour, not 73, 2 to 74. It has to be over before it would be considered a tropical cyclone full on. So you can expect a tropical storm from this. You can expect this because they've gone this wide with it to now be spinning this way. Right? All the steering currents have its moisture being stripped. I don't see too much of a chance of that coming this way because they're backed up too much moisture here. But with geoengineering, anything goes. Anything goes with weather warfare. So we have to keep a big eye on it. Big beams come off here. See right here, sweeping the moisture up towards the Upper Peninsula. So you're going to see weather unfolding today directly along this line. Really big beam come through New Zealand in this area. So I'm going to raise the earthquake risk for this area right in here, and for this area here where this curve is. See this here? It all came in. It kind of intersects right about there. So your earthquake risk is extremely high right now in New Zealand for something in the upper fives. Very, very, very easily you can see that happening. Yeah, main island too. You could have a slight trench event maybe around this part here, but most of the beaming I'm seeing is happening right here on the island. So your earthquake risk is extremely high for the next 36 hours. There's with your timestamps. Sorry about that, folks. Do the best I can for you. I want those timestamps too. So let's get them on there. Bzzz, getting fried, getting fried. Bill Gates style. He's funding all this crap. The billionaires are having meetings right now to see what they're going to fund next. Hey, we'll give you this if you do that. Hey, here's all your new things you need for cashless. We're just going to give them to you. Right? No fees right now, for now. Yeah, man, I don't trust the banker. When they convince you got to bail them out when they blow your money, nah, that was a movie. It's a wonderful life for them, but not so much for us. So look at the straight line across the country now that's been caused by that EMF wave that I showed you earlier. And if you look at the edges of these, you're going to see bombs. Bomb on bomb on bomb on bomb on bomb. And you've had some very unique chem formations today. So I'm going to let this clear up, I hope. And one of them was racing through here. It was an oddball. Here it is. This is one of the oddest chemtrails I've ever seen. And I've been giving it a lot of looking. This is that one I was showing you guys in another video. I said, I'm seeing a weird one. So I'm going to let this get as clear as it can. As it takes a while sometimes for these to load. Because what I was seeing is this line comes down. There's 2 EMF waves, but behind it is they put bombs off. And there's just a few in front of it, and as it interacts with the chem itself, it's nucleated a huge haze behind itself. That's an EMF wave. It's really strange. But they've actually used a combination of bombs with the leading edge of the wave. See it coming across? It's weird, isn't it? That's geoengineering. It's just gone over the top of Melbourne just now. And as it interacts with the chem, it's nucleating up into storms. Right, look at this bomb here. Right in the tail. Let's look at this line. I'm going to take her back. If I'm real lucky, I can get it up there. Look at these bombs going off here and here and here and here and here behind this big line of storms. You see that big X in the sky? These are all chemtrails here. These are all chem bombs. These are not cumulus clouds. This is an accumulation of too much power in the hands of too few people. And they don't have good values, in my opinion, to do this to my Earth, my planet, my Australia. That's right. I could call this mine. It's on my Earth. And I could treat it like mine. And I won't let something of mine be harmed without telling you. Look at this shit state over the country. Chemtrails are owning the skies of Australia today. That's sickness mix, day 2 of it. They usually give you 3. Bomb, 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 bomb here. Bomb, 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 bomb there with some EMF to help disperse it all out. Probably over an X-ray site. Look at this. This is our bombs going off, Australia. You can't deny this. If you do, then you're an idiot. They think you're an idiot. You'd rather call me a tinfoil hat than open up your freaking eyes and say, hey, Dan, something bad's going on here. This needs a serious, serious stopping. Because it's harming you. It's going in your lakes. The fish that you catch and eat say, look, I just caught this fresh. Yeah, fresh chem. It's not a natural cloud formation streaming towards Sydney here and getting ready to go through Penrith. Bomb going off right here. Toxifying a forest. A forest. I can't see the forest for the chem bombs. And pretty soon you might have to go to a tree museum like Joni Mitchell sang about. Just to see what they look like. Remember, we used to have these. I remember when I had a tree in the yard. That would be a sad tale to tell, and I refuse to have that paradigm go silent while it's going on. While they're destroying so much things that it's not being taken into account. And everybody's worried about how much it's going to cost me. What is it costing the stuff out here? It's life. It's evolution. It's oneness is being taken from us by man. Man is polluting the skies with geoengineering, disguised as the Paris Accords, trying to save the world. But it is poisoning it, opening it up for corporate crops that are resistant to the chemicals that killed the natural stuff. And no longer will the mother be on the planet. All the crops will be the motherfuckers. And they ain't trying to make you healthy. They're trying to make you go to hospitals. They're trying to keep you sick, to keep you from fighting that they're killing you. And that they're taking from you. And they're killing your dreams by selling you something they're never going to give you. Here, pay into your retirement from your paycheck you have to do. And they steal it from you. They did it to me. No Social Security for me, but I had to pay it by law. That's thievery. Taxation is theft. And common law don't stand a chance anymore when they're arrested grandmothers for protesting about the lack of freaking disclosure of pedophiles. What a fucking shame. Boom, 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 and going to plumes across from Broome. And you guys are going to get it. Because of the chem bombs, you got a lot of action coming over here on the threes. Right? It's causing your weather problems. Next 24 hours, where they bombed you. Here's the rain. 3 days later, hello, Fitzroy Crescent. Have it, have it, have it, have it, have it. And that's pretty much nearing the end of your event there. A few more totals coming in as it fucks off. You know, swallow those streams, kill those dreams. And the main flooding happens down here because this has already come its way and there ain't nowhere for it to go. The bridges are all fucking gone. They're just going to demoralize people to move. Don't give up your fight to keep your land and your freedom, Australia. Anzac that shit. And this time the enemy is on your shores. It's from within. A corporation has cooed your country and lies to you about it. And look at these totals for New South Wales coming. I fucking warned you weeks ago about this. It starts in the trough. Right? You get about 12 hours break. Get your shit right. And then she comes. And it's not going to be too safe. It's going to be hard. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be dangerous. There's going to be lightning. There's going to be hail. There's going to be slides down these roads. And the thought of it is dissing my ease. And on the tens, to look back at the whole country, it's like sponge. Soggy bottom up here, dry down here. And your soil moistures are, it's a bit disturbing actually. When I look down to the real deep depths, we go down to the 100 centimeter, excuse me, a yard deep. It's very dry. And the top might be wet, but it won't take long for that wind to dry that top out. You do have a big dry problem. You do have a huge fire risk right now. Some of these lightning strikes in the wind, even in rain, can start a fire when nanometallics and nanoparticles have settled into soils, waters, and actually got absorbed into the crops through the root systems and the capillaries, and they're burning incredibly hot. And some of the colors coming off the tree are chemical colors. And that's something you'd expect to see when eucalyptus oil burned or pine oil burned. Right? We're seeing aluminum colors, barium, strontiums, incredible purples. Yeah, so something is wrong. Something terribly wrong in the environment, and I'm showing you what it is. This is what's wrong. This is what's causing so many problems, so many illnesses, so many molds to continue to grow. This is what's dissing the ease of our planet. This is changing the climate daily, which if we stopped it, Mother Nature would just bring it back. We should all plant trees. Trees that belong here. Trees that feed animals that need to be here. Because they've killed so many animals in this flood. It's going to be an uncounted thing. It's just a feeling of great sadness I have that the land itself is crying out, and too few people hear it. And I'm watching this sickness mix, and I'm watching the poison in the people and the crops and all these poor towns that they want to go to the beach and have a nice day, but yet you got a chem bomb here. Look, see the formation? I don't even have to move that to see it. These are very low. That's high deck. This is low deck. And underneath that, you'll see lower deck. Right? It's another layer of the cake with a bomb going off here off of Cape Byron. Gold Coast area down in here. Surfer's paradise. Getting chem bomb going up the coast. These are bombs. Absolute bombs. Is that clearer for you? The Surfers Against Chemtrails group I used to be allowed in and I was never allowed back. That's chem bombs right off your coast here. You're out in the waves and this stuff's falling on your skin. It might not be a sunburn. It might be a chemical burn. You need to get you some Armor Hammer or some good magnesium bicarbs and mix it with some water to spray on your skin to neutralize the acids in the sky. And it's actually in the water. It's very burny when I went swimming around here. I had to hose off never so quickly as any other place. I was burning really bad at the water along here, especially in Noosa. Really bad. The water in Harvey Bay was beautiful and warm and it didn't burn the same. And that was nice. They got a lot of plants and shellfish there to clean. And as these bombs are going off here, it's undeniable. 10 minutes later, same cluster fucking you up. New bombs, same formation. Sorry about the unclearness of that. Sharp minds deserve smart, sharp images. See, little curve. These are shaped charges. See it? Screenshot it and make it big. You'll see it. Go look on the site yourself. I don't make this up. This is satview.bureauofmorons.gov. I was in a chirpy mood until I seen all this. I'm sorry. Tazzy, you got a lot on the low deck going on as they've changed the flow again in the Bass Strait. They got to hold it off at least another 20 hours and then let it through. Yeah, they're still holding it off. When they let that through, it goes into New South Wales, gets their storms. So you're every bit 12 hours away from the beams that let that through. Then you're going to see the action. But this here is probably the most blatant chemtrail line I've ever filmed. And it's totally new. Right? That's an EMF line, but it's got bombs behind it. See that one there? Blowing it up? Boom. Right, I'll go back 10 minutes. Straight line. Boom. And it curved it out. Percussion ring with another one there. Multiple bombs going off. And it continues. One explosion after another can't move a straight line along. And each one of these is a bomb. riding a wave of EMF, because you can see the haze of it over here where they decided not to bomb. It came through. It came up the same. See? It nucleated. It actually dissipated moisture, but this one condensated. Why? Because they added the chemicals. Chemical catalysts, leaving a chemical trail. This is a chemtrail. These are things on the periodic table, which makes them a chemical. It's leaving a trail, whether it's smoke, or whether it's ice, or whether it's cloud. And what is it composed of? We deserve full honest answer to. But it is a chemical trail, and that is a fact. This is a chemtrail. Chemtrails are real. This is a fact. This is a bomb formation in a V down here. Right? 10 minutes later, streamers still coming off from this center nucleation point. You got a gondola of a balloon moving along. And it's still there. It's just weather plan tells it when to go. Maybe it waits till it gets over this massive EMF out there to kick back off, because you got some new bombs going off of it. Right? Wasn't there. Goes over the thing and blows up. Right here. 2 of them. You got to have the chemicals in the atmosphere to propagate the waveform to get the weather effects you want. Look at this one here with the curve and the dots and the dots and the dots and the booming and the booming and the pluming. And the ruining of it all. What a fucking shame. It's been nearly a year since the Lidsmore flood. It's been 11 months. And still, the chem bombs are owning the skies of Australia. Nearly changed your name to Chemstraya because it's so fitting. How many different ways can you destroy a country? Shall we go to Canberra and ask? Or should we go in the confessionals of the Hillside Church and hear what's really going on? Yeah, what a shame. No offense to you at all, but you know, you should watch your own back. You'll get tarred with the same brush as some of the same people that you hang out with. Hashtag exposed to 28. That's a great recruit place. See this bomb going off over here where they're going to have the rain today? Where they're already blowing up a storm? God, this is a heavy thickness of mix today. This is what it looks like when the gas chamber comes to you. Some Klaus guy. Yeah. But they won't call it the Fourth Reich. They'll call it the Fourth Industrial Revolution instead. You might accept that Nike stripey in your sky a little bit easier as the average from the perverts advertise their blatant disregard for all fucking life on this planet. If I've ever knew of inhumane beings, they're the ones doing this. We are humane beings born to be humane. Are you going to be a human being? Or are you going to be a humane being? You're a homo sapien. Only you could decide what kind of homo you want to be. I decided I'm going to be a humane being, and that's the kind of homo I'm going to be. As these booms and these plumes go over here, it's just breaking my heart. So I'm going to roll a bit of forecasty for you here, give you about 3 days, and you can watch this shit. Yeah, let me turn that off. I'm not trying to wind you up. I'll get all of y'all on the screen. And thank you very much for the support. And if you'd like to support my work, you may do so at paypal.me/Robert Deutsch. Hey, and I got a haircut, so I'm ready to rumble. Yeah, that's right. I'm taking the bull by the horns. You have to excuse me. I've been out and about most of the day. It's a bit, and I'm not smoking as much, so you're going to hear differences in my voice again. Yeah, I'm going to quit. I'm on it. Okay, there's going to be some heavinesses popping up this day here. Look at this. Whole coastline. Whole coast road for your Saturday and Sunday. That will make an awkward travel back. At least they're not supercells. A couple of them are going to camp out here for a while. But your big stuff's coming. It's just going to keep coming every day. Because of the conditions. And until they let this low go, you're fucked. Yep, that moves out of the way and the other one comes in. It's just one endless streamer with the pressure pretty well locked. So you got 3 highs down here. There's nowhere for it to go. One bubble up shoots one down. Even this is going to have a hard time. That's going to rotate it this way. It's got just one avenue to go this way, but in all fairness, that moisture should get stripped And if it gets a little bit more of this, it'll go up and under and hit New Zealand. But not with anything but rain. So that's going to be probably dissipated. I want to see what they're going to do. Yeah, it dissipates it, sends it to New Zealand. The pressure would just get absorbed. But meanwhile, all your action is still in this trough, still in here in this angle. And the chem bombs are going to provide all the fuel and food to make the storms. Yeah, you get a bad day coming here, I'll tell you that. I've been watching this, and this is what's coming from the tropics. It's going to impact this area here. And if I put the winds on, you're going to get a little nervous. But the winds weren't high enough. If I put the winds on for you, scheduled for that, it's not in the tropical cyclone strength. It's not even close. It's going to be a whopping tropical storm, bringing a lot of wet in. And the EMF's going to decide it, and it looks like she's going to come ashore right about there. She should skirt. She should skirt about in here and come like that. If it does anything different, I'm going to be surprised, because all the pressures say it has to do this. So I'll be watching this very closely. But when you got Xmas here, anything can happen. They can hit an antenna blast and that storm go away. Right? Heat that center just right, equalize that pressure, that's gone. Right? Causes a counter rotation. But what's going to happen is going to be decided by the geoengineer. So that's a big if, because of where it's camped out. It's camped out under the guilty corridor over here where the wicked glitch so often flies. Right? She likes to rest over there. Must like to watch the sunset. I don't know. All I know is they're glitching hard now. They got a corridor set up through here and down here. So you can get stuff working through here today. But this here is preventing anything from going down south. And if this is on and they're not showing the data, your corridor is about here. And if I was to look at the chem and see what the deployment is, I see the secondary moisture coming through here, just like I said, that one corridor was there. And your rain's going to be through this area. And that broom is definitely on. So there's a heated flow there to hold the moisture off. Even though their radar's off, I can see it here. Okay, so I can do the determining that way. It's just been turned on pretty hard. So that's going to cause a strange flow. It's got two outflows going. They ran it in two directions. See where they collide? That's never good for a storm. They cut that radar off. This is going to kick off. Main action's right here. They've drawn the storm already. They've made these two parentheses and they backfilled it with chem. Right? So on the radar it's going to look like a big cell. But look at the shock wave. See these little lines here from the bombs? And the actual, this is rising so fast, it's displacing a lot. So these will be different layers. So that's going to have a hell of a look from the side. Anybody over here can take a picture of this cell, or from this side won't give it as good. But it's really, this is going to be a very dangerous cell. As I can read the layers even from the top. And it's being totally bombed. Look, see the bombs going off right here? And here? Making this worse. And then it goes into the commas. And once it does that, you're fucking. She's going to start to spin. They can hit one line and pop that way and move that a little bit north. They can make this whole thing as one, depending what they're going to do with this chem line here. And you can see new bombs deployed to backfill this. So you're going to have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to call this one very dangerous storm. Watch out when you're in the path of this. You'll have to be keeping a good eye on the weather radar today up around here for what's coming. And of course it's forming in an area you don't have any coverage at all. So you won't see the wicked glitch like this. The only way you see them is by learning what they look like on radar like that one. Well, you have to learn what the glitch is due to clouds. And if it's making a cloud, it's geoengineering. It's creating it. And that in itself is not litigated. Cloud seeding is not creating of a cloud. Even that other document passed to me says that on it down about 3/4 of the way down. I haven't read it out yet, but read it. It says so. So geoengineering creates a cloud that can be seeded. But you can't seed a cloud that isn't there. Right? That definition has never been changed. Some people are using it wrong. But the law and the acts clearly say that definition means you have to adjust, change the conditions of an existing cloud. Yeah, they sell it like you can have a raindrop and not lose your crop, but really, you gave him permission to do this every day. And it's causing very, very bad health. And it's toxifying my world. and it's breaking my heart. And when my heart's broken, I got nothing less to lose. I'm going to fight hard because the big love is the heart of the universe and it's just going to flow. All right, so just flow it, folks. This is a heartless thing we have to contend with here. And well, you guys got more heart and you're my heroes. And never forget that heroes need heroes too. Big love, my heroes. Peace.